On the Common Link Theory by Fahad Alhomoudi. Appendix 3. Hadith Master Al-Hakim's classification of the transmitters. 1. Those who falsely attribute sayings to the Prophet. In this connection, Al-Hakim mentions some zindiqs, who are heterodox individuals, who invented traditions for the purpose of raising doubts. Some forgers, he says, have admitted their forgeries. He tells of a Kharijite who, after he had repented, confessed that when the Kharijites had wanted anything, they turned it into a tradition. He quotes Abu al-Ayna as confessing after his penance that he and Al-Jahid had invented a tradition and had it accepted by the sheikhs in Baghdad, with the exception of Ibn Abi Shaybah, who found in it an inconsistency. He says that a sheikh once found him weeping by Sulaiman ibn Harb, and when asked, he replied that he had forged 400 traditions and introduced them into copies used by traditionists. Now he did not know what to do. Some of whom, a few of them name, invented traditions to encourage people to do good, in which connection he quoted Yahya bin Sa'id as saying, "I have not seen falsehood in anyone more than in him who has a reputation for good." One who is transmitting a tradition on the excellencies of the Quran, surah by surah, from Ikramah from Ibn Abbas, who was asked where he got it from. Ikramah's transmitters had no such tradition. He replied, "I saw the people had turned away from the Quran and occupied themselves with fiqh of Abu Hanifa and the Maghazi of Muhammad ibn Ishaq, so I forged this tradition with a good motive." Some people invented traditions on the spot to suit circumstances as they arose. Another class of inventors was the storytellers, who learned some sound isnads to which they attached their extraordinary traditions. 2. Those who take well-known traditions and give them new isnads for the sake of novelty. 3. Learned people whose avidity for transmission leads to quote certain authorities, although they were not born till after these authorities had died. Al-Hakim says that this class is numerous and he has met a number of them himself. 4. People who give forth sound traditions which go back slowly to the companions as if they went back to the Prophet. This class is also numerous. 5. People who trace back to the Prophet traditions which only go back to the followers. 6. Pious people who do not take the trouble to be exact. This class is numerous and a majority is ascetics and devotees. 7. People who hear traditions from sheikhs and add to them others which they have not heard from the same sheikhs. They do this without distinguishing between those who they have heard and those which they have not heard. Al-Hakim said that he has seen many learned foreigners who have done this. 8. People who have heard traditions from authorities but have not taken the trouble to write down what they heard, and when they grew old they were asked for traditions. Their desire to appear as authorities leads them to transmit these traditions from copies which they have bought, but which they have not heard. 9. People who lack the qualifications demanded of a traditionist and do not know their traditions by heart. A student may have come and read traditions which did not belong to him and ignorantly confirmed them. 10. People who have travelled in search of traditions and were recognized as traditionists, but they lost their books. Then, when asked for traditions, they would transmit them from other people's books or from a defective memory. On this account, they fell into estimation. But Al-Hakim adds that whatever such people transmit before they lost their books is sound. Stay tuned for Appendix 4.